What's up, everybody? This is MJ, and welcome to our Friday training. I hope you've had a phenomenal week, and I hope you are ready to talk about this topic that we have today because it's one that I find particularly interesting because I fall in the group of people who have a college education. And I'm sure a lot of you out there have one as well. And as most of us know and accept, college education, especially in this country, with very few exceptions, are designed to help you to get a job and work for somebody else. And there is nothing wrong with working for somebody else. There's nothing wrong with getting a job, using your degree to get a job. But I used to wonder, after the trend began that people were getting these college degrees and they weren't working in their field, they ended up either not working in any type of a field that required a degree, or they worked in something completely different. And I started to wonder, what is the benefit of having my college education if, first of all, I'm not able to work in that field, or if, this sometimes you end up getting the degree and you can't work. Comment below if that's happened to you. There's no shade in that. There's no shame, rather, in that. It's what happens to a lot of people. So what is the benefit? How can you use your college education to facilitate starting your boutique or shop when you are an entrepreneur in that space and you have a college degree, which by and large prepares you for a job? If you're, my situation was that not long into working on my undergraduate degree, I realized that the major that I had chosen, or my expected career, was not something I was even interested in. I don't even know where I got the idea that I want to be a doctor, because I did not. But I finished the degree because I was so far into it. I said, well, if I start over now, I'll have all this work that I did for nothing. The other thing was, I didn't know what I wanted to do at that time. And I ended up working in a field completely different from what my degree is in, my undergrad degree. And so that probably happens to a lot of you as well. So I began to ask, and a lot of people ask this: what's the benefit of having having a degree if you're not going to end up working in that field, if there's no jobs available, or if you end up not being interested in it? But what I found to be true, and you probably found this to be true as well, is that getting your degree, having your degree, gives you more than just the ability to get a job in the field that the degree is in, or even in another field. There's so many more benefits, and some of them, surprisingly, can be applied to entrepreneurship. Some of the skill sets, not necessarily the degree's area of focus, but certainly the fact that you have earned your degree and that you have finished that degree, can translate into some skill sets that you need as an entrepreneur to stay ahead of the game. And one of those is dedication. So whether you did a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, a master's degree, or even if you got a certificate in some kind of a field that didn't require college, but it took some time, it's not, without a doubt, it took a lot of dedication for you to finish your degree. You had to, at least for a 4-year degree, if you did it in 4 years, which very few people do these days, if you did it in 4 years, you had to show up for at least 8 different semesters and take a full load if you got it done in 4 years. Each of those times, all these different teachers, all these different classes, these different assignments. And it took a lot of dedication, especially if you did it like I did it when I got my master's and went back as an adult learner. Adult learners who choose to go back and get an advanced degree, or even if you're getting the original bachelor or associate's degree as an adult learner, those learners are often do better than they might have done when they were in the undergraduate age group, the typical age group, because of that level of dedication that's associated with choosing to go back to school to better yourself, being more mature, being an adult, and going ahead and doing it while you're working a job, sometimes while you're raising kids, while you're in a marriage or in a relationship. And so the dedication that's involved in earning your college degree directly translates as a transferable skill to being an entrepreneur. You have to be extremely dedicated as an entrepreneur to stay the course. And I know this to be a fact. When you have a job, a lot of times you can coast. How many know about coasting? Raise your hand or blink your eyes if you sometimes have coasted in your day job, but you still got your check every 1 or 2 weeks or whenever you got paid, because sometimes it doesn't require you to have your shoulder to the plow, as they say, to keep your job. However, as an entrepreneur, you have to stay dedicated to what it is that you want to do. dedicated to keeping your business's doors open, or even before the doors open, staying dedicated to getting to the place where you can launch, and then keeping your customers happy and keeping inventory flowing and continuing to make a profit, doing all the back work, hiring and managing employees and all those things. It takes a lot of commitment. So if you went back, especially as an adult learner, but even if you did it in the typical undergraduate age and you got your degree, just know that the very act of earning your degree, even if you took longer than 4 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, no matter how long it took, you stayed dedicated because you got a degree in the course of study that you either started out as or that you switched to along the way. I cannot understate or overstate the importance of dedication and having that muscle that says, yes, I can give up, but I'm going to keep going. And you had to keep telling yourself every month, every week, every day while you were working on your degree not to give up. Because at any point, I'm sure you had that one test or that one paper or that one professor or that one situation in your life outside of school that made you want to give up. The fact that you stayed the course and got your college education means that you have a skill set that could be transferred into entrepreneurship of being dedicated. The second skill set that earning your college degree afforded you was teachability, right? You know, in elementary, middle, and high school, you're pretty much forced to go to school. There are some students that enjoy it and would go even if their parents didn't make them go. But quite frankly, your initial education in primary and secondary school was forced upon you. Parents sent you to school. They did not ask if you wanted to go. And sometimes that happens to people in college. Your parents might have insisted that you go as well. But the bottom line is going to school in high school and before is very different from college and beyond. It's still a matter of choice, especially if you end up doing well in school. You had to be willing to be teachable and submit to the guidance of your professors, the rules of being on the campus, all of those things. You had to be teachable. You had to admit that you don't know everything. Even in those times when you did know something, maybe you had to repeat a class 2 or 3 times until you saw the information. But each time you went back, you had to submit to that new teacher and say, if I knew all of this, I wouldn't have had to repeat the class. But because I do, I'm willing to learn. Or even outside of repeating classes, just the fact that you're willing to go and learn new skills. Being teachable, having a learner's spirit, a learner's mindset, that is a critical skill of an entrepreneur, because there's always going to be, as you're running your boutique, as you're running your shop, there's always going to be industry standards that change, market trends that affect what you're doing, customer tastes that change, all of those things. And you have to be willing to go out and learn instead of just blindly saying, I'm going to stay with what I know. I'm going to stick with what I used to be able to do that used to work. If you don't keep a learner's mindset or a teachable spirit, you won't go very far as an entrepreneur, because especially in today's retail landscape or in today's business landscape, there's always things changing related to electronic or digital technology, related to the way people buy, related to how products are made, how they're distributed. There's always something to learn. Even as I help people every single day to launch their boutiques quickly and profitably, I'm constantly having to learn and revamp as things change in the industry as well, even to be able to put that knowledge on to the people I'm working with. And the same is true for you as an entrepreneur. You will have to be able to stay coachable, stay teachable the whole way through. There's always going to be somebody who knows more than you. There's always going to be knowledge that you don't have, and you have to be willing to submit and be, humble enough to admit what you don't know, and also have the willingness to go out there and learn it. Because if you don't, your business will be left behind. Your boutique will see fewer and fewer customers as the newer kids on the block take over the space that you left behind, or as the big dogs swallow your market share whole, if you ever are able to achieve any market share as well. So being teachable and being willing to go out, take ownership for your own success, guarantee your own success by learning the new things, that's what you can take from earning your college degree. You did the same thing. Even if you were one that was forced to get your degree by your parents, like, you can't stay here unless you're in school, or we're sending you away to school because our family earns degrees. Whatever the circumstances that led you to college were, the bottom line is you had to be willing to learn and take guidance from others who had gone before you. And that's something that you can transfer into entrepreneurship, is that same willing mindset, because even though you will be the head cheese, you will be the top dog in your company, there's always room for improvement. There's always something you can learn from somebody else. So just remember that when you're thinking about what good was my degree if now I want to be an entrepreneur, these skill sets we're talking about today transfer directly into entrepreneurship if you apply them the right way. The third skill set where your college education can facilitate starting your boutique is the focus that it took for you to get your degree. The focus, the decisiveness, the willingness to say, I'm all in. I am not going to let up. It's kind of related to dedication, but it's a little bit different. It's more like decisive, being willing to make decisions and move forward. Believe it or not, all throughout your college career, however long that journey was, you were constantly making decisions. You were constantly staying focused on the objective and making decisions on a daily basis, on a weekly or monthly basis to stay the course. You could have changed your major every semester if you want to. Probably most schools wouldn't have kept you around very long, and you would never have gotten out of school if you did that. But you had to say, this is what I want. I've got to choose these classes. I've got to choose this professor and go ahead and make a move. I've got to get my work done, because if I don't, I'll miss my due date. It's a lot of micro decision making. It's a lot of working through challenges and making quick and sometimes maybe not as quick decisions about what's best for your college career so that you can get your degree. That skill set, that ability to focus and be decisive and know what you want and trust yourself to move quickly towards that goal, that skill set transfers over into entrepreneurship as a boutique owner, as a retail shop owner. Because again, thinking about those market trends, things are changing so fast. Information is passed at the click of a button. In seconds, someone halfway around the world can have a message from you, can inform you of some things. And you have to be able to say, I see this opportunity. They say if I buy this today, I'll be able to get a huge discount on this inventory that I need for my shop. And you've got to be willing to focus and say, does this help me reach my goal? If so, I'm going to do it. Every decision can't be days and weeks and months long, because you miss out on opportunities. You learned that skill while you were doing your education. If you remember registration time towards the end of a semester, where they talk in terms of registering for the next semester. If you want to get a certain professor or a certain section of a class, you have to go ahead and register. If there's like a few seats left, or even if there's a lot of seats left, and you want to make sure you get in there, you got to go ahead and make the decision that this is the class I need. The course schedule said I needed it. My counselor said I needed it. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. When you're not sure about an assignment, a paper, whatever it is you're doing in your classes, you had to make a move and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Your teacher couldn't hold your hand every step of the way. They might have supported you and gave you as much support as they could, but they couldn't do everything for you. So there was a million micro decisions that you made while you were working on that degree that helped you to move forward and stay focused on your goal. That skill set is critical as a CEO, because you have to make all the decisions. Even after you hire people to whom you delegate some authority, the buck stops with you at the top. And you have to be willing and able to handle that kind of decision-making expectation, that kind of pressure, for lack of a better word. And you have already honed that skill while you're working on your degree. See, friends, your college education, even as you're going into entrepreneurship, was not a waste. And it doesn't matter, even if the thing is, and I'm going to say this as a sidebar, having an education even in the business majors does not really prepare you for entrepreneurship either, because that's designed to help you run somebody else's business. Only entrepreneurship type courses and things can help a person prepare for entrepreneurship. But still, the fact that you earned that degree speaks volumes to your ability to make decisions, stay focused on your objective, trust yourself to move forward in an expeditious manner so that you don't miss out on opportunities. And then the last characteristic we're going to talk about, because there's a lot of entrepreneurial characteristics that a person who earned a college degree actually already has, if you know how to leverage it. But we're just going to talk about 4 today. So the last one we're going to talk about today is ingenuity. Ingenuity means you're going to find creative, out of the box ways to stretch yourself, take on risk, and solve problems. Just like I said a moment ago, entrepreneurs are constantly juggling a million things and solving problems and making decisions. And having ingenuity means you're going to find creative ways to get around your obstacles, because here's what's true. Nobody is out here to make most people and most organizations are not out here to make your journey as a business owner easier. There are resources. Yes, there are. There are people who will guide you and help you. Yes, they are, if you can find the right one. But by and large, the world is not designed around helping you, one person, start their business. It's going to be hard. There's going to be times when there are no business loans available for you, or there's going to be times when somebody does something that was out of your control and they ruin your business. Somebody steals something, somebody misappropriates something, somebody breaks something, somebody clicks the wrong button. They take the red pill instead of the blue pill, or the blue pill instead of the red pill. And now you've got this massive problem and you have to find ways around it. A lot of the ingenuity that an entrepreneur deals with, at least in the early days, months, and years, is around money, because it takes money to make money. And it also, you have to capitalize your business so that it can stay open long enough for your name to get out there and people start buying your products on a consistent basis, so that you can then be full-time in your business, leave your job, do all the things that you want to do. But in those early days, you have to have ingenuity to figure out how to keep the lights on. And most people cannot use their day job paycheck to fund an entire business, entire boutique that is properly capitalized. Oh, you might be able to squeeze out $300-400 here, maybe even $1,000 here, but a business that's going to scale to the level that I know you're interested in, you're not going to just be able to get away with a few $100s here or there, or even a few thousand. You're going to have to pour a lot of money, time, and energy into your business, and finding unique and clever ways to get resourceful, to get the things you need. That's going to be a huge skill set for you. And the reason why your college education is related to that is that you have to have a lot of ingenuity as a college student to survive. Did you simply, as a college student, go to class, listen to him talk, take notes, and then leave and just hope that it worked out? Even when you were behind, even when you had questions, even when you're struggling? Of course you didn't. What did you do? You found creative ways to solve your problem. Maybe that creative way was tutoring. Maybe that creative way was going to the learning center that they have on campuses around the country. Sometimes that creative way was figuring out different ways to arrange your courses in a certain order, or combining courses in a certain way so that you could learn things in a more user-friendly way for you. You had to find creative ways for those who went back to school after you became a parent, after you became a spouse, in order for you to find the time or create the time for you to go to class, whether it was on campus or online. You had to get creative. You had to get resourceful to pay for it. I know I was fortunate to not have to pay for my undergrad degree myself. My mother sponsored that, but for my master's degree, I had to pay for that myself. And it takes some creativity to do that. School's not cheap. How am I going to pay for it? What am I going to do with my kids? What am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? What am I going to do to survive this one class that's a bear? Maybe I can find some resources online. Now, back when I got my master's, well, I guess the internet had a lot on it when I earned my master's. But when I did my undergrad, you couldn't just get on Google and just have a world's wealth of knowledge, right? That didn't exist way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. But now you have that information. But your teachers, your professors, they didn't always tell you exactly what to do to get the help you need. You had to get creative and help yourself and figure those things out. Well, that same skill set can be applied to entrepreneurship. You're going to have to go out there and find it. You can't just be like, well, I don't have it. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to. You can't do that. You have to get the help you need. You have to be able to find the resources that you need to invest in your business. Spending a few $100s here or there on a retail business, but saying you want to be a millionaire, those two things are not congruent. You're not going to just magically one day just have this explosion of wealth when you haven't invested the time, the money, and the energy in it. I know we hear those stories every blue moon about a person who seems like they had overnight success. I guarantee, even if they didn't spend a lot, which I know they probably did, they spent it in time. They spend it in blood, sweat, and tears. You have to spend, and you've got to get the reward, and you've got to find creative ways to get what you need. Maybe the bank did turn down your business loan, but did you go out and look for money online? Did you go out to your retirement and see what you could get from that? Did you ask people to help you? Or are you just sitting there with your hands out saying, I don't know what to do. I don't have it. I'm scared. I'm this and that. It's okay to be scared. What's not okay is to let that be the lead story in your entrepreneurial journey, because the longer you allow fear to stop you from using your ingenuity to get you the things you want, the longer you're going to stay stuck in that job that you're trying to get away from. The longer you're not going to be able to realize your dreams of being an entrepreneur. So here's what's true. We've talked about at least 4 different skill sets that you have in your arsenal if you, like many of us, earned a college degree. And especially if you did well at it, especially if you got a high GPA, but even if you didn't, even if you were the 2.5 student who was grateful for that 2.5, nothing wrong with that either, because guess what? All of our degrees read the same, no matter what your GPA was. But because you did that work to get that college education, it will make it easier for you to start your boutique with the right guidance and support and accountability and step-by-step instruction, because you already have the grit to what it takes to run your own business. Now, working a job doesn't give you those skill sets, because that actually creates dependence on another entrepreneur, the person that owns the place you work for. They have the skill set. Working from them does not give you the skill set to be an entrepreneur. It probably gives you the motivation to be an entrepreneur, but it doesn't give you the skill set. But what you do have in earning that degree that got you that job, now that you can look at it a different way, you have what it takes to succeed. But guess what? Having these skill sets, having the dedication, the ingenuity, the teachable spirit, and the focus, that's a part of it. And there's a big part of it. You got to have those skills, but you also have to know what you're doing. Because you can have all the dedication and ingenuity and teachability and focus that you want, but if you're using them in the wrong way, taking the wrong steps, buying the wrong stuff, skipping over a lot of the major things you need to do to have a successful 6 or 7 figure boutique, you're still going to continue to struggle. You're still going to stay stuck in that job. You need to be able to combine these skill sets that you got from earning your degree that transfer into entrepreneurship with the right system and strategy and knowing what to do. Those 2 things married together, sis, you're going to be unstoppable. Your boutique is going to hit the ground running, or once it gets up and you're a household name, you're going to walk into that supervisor's office and slap down that resignation letter and walk out of there free as a bird, just like a kite flying in the air. But you've got to set things up the right way. And if you realize that you have been, maybe you realize you have these skill sets or these traits, but you still don't know what to do from a business standpoint to start your own business. Because remember, even having a business degree does not set you up to start a business. It helps you to run somebody else's business, which is a very different skill set. But if you need help applying the entrepreneurial skill sets that you earned while you built, or that you built while you were earning your college degree, with a system, a strategy for support and accountability, and knowing exactly what to do step by step, then I invite you now to reach out and book a free breakthrough call with me at melaniehunter.com/chat. The address is on the screen right now, www.melanie with 2 L's hunter.com/chat. And we're going to look at, hey, you've already got the traits. You've got what you need on the inside. You're halfway there. But let's look at what are those other retail skills that you don't have, business building skills that you don't have. What's holding you back? What fears are keeping you up at night? And we're going to look at the dream. Where do you want it to go? What business that's in existence right now do you want to be on par with, or even put out of business? Who are your competitors that you want to put out of business? And what's the dream? Why do you want to do that? And then we're going to get you started on a game plan where you can step by step start building that boutique. Because it's not enough to just gather information from YouTube and Google and all these Facebook groups out here and these articles on the web. It's not enough to do that if you don't know how to implement said information. It's not about information gathering. It's about transforming your business into something that's going to earn you the 6 or 7 figures that you dream about. So we're going to talk about all that on the phone. And if you are fit to work together, we're going to get you started today building your business the right way, building your shop or boutique in a way where it's going to be profitable and get you your freedom, your impact, and your income as soon as possible. But it starts with a decision that you're tired of struggling, that you're tired of doing things the old way, and you're willing to invest the time, the energy, the funds, and everything else in your business the way it needs to build it to the level that you want it to be at. So again, book your free breakthrough call right now at melaniehunter.com/chat. Be sure to fill out the application that pops up next so that you can fully book your call. That's part of the reservation process. And we will talk in the next couple of business days about how to get you into your freedom boutique. It's been my pleasure to share with you today. Hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend and an even better week next week. I look forward to talking to those of you who recognize that you need help and that this is exactly what you need to move forward. Book your call right now and we'll chat soon. Take care.